Hello everyone, my name is PJ and welcome to The Void. So, after the Final Fantasy XI debacle, I've really been reconsidering the way I do my game reviews. I don't feel like I'm asking the right questions or providing the right answers. It might be due to my personal influences when it comes to game reviewers, because the ones I watch are mostly just trying to be funny, and they typically do so by overreacting to things. While I don't want to sacrifice humor in my videos, I do feel that honesty is the best policy, and the best way to not only get my points across, but also the best way to form a real opinion of the game for myself. Up until now, I've been using a point allocation system to determine game scores. I start at 5 out of 10, then go through the 5 categories, adding or deducting 1 point for each until arriving at a result between 0 and 10. But then I also had the miscellaneous category where I would alter the score even further, and I knew from the beginning how fucky this would make things. Miscellaneous points allowed me to fix the score by giving seemingly unfair attention to specific aspects of the game. Oh, the game has jiggle physics? Well, I guess it's a 6 out of 10 game instead of 5 out of 10. It sounds ridiculous, but that's exactly what I was doing. The miscellaneous category only exists so I can manipulate the end result and make it a score that I feel suits the game. When I was rethinking my scoring system, one of my considerations was to eliminate the miscellaneous points and to just integrate them with the main categories. It'd certainly make my job easier. But you know what would make it even easier? Not having a points per category system at all. I mean, if I'm going to fix the score to meet my subjective arbitrary whims, I might as well not even have one. In the past, when I was writing some of my reviews, I would base my miscellaneous points and the bonuses I gave on what I wanted the end result to be. If a game would end up being a 7 out of 10 but I didn't want it to be that high, I would move a point from the main categories to miscellaneous in order to lower the score a bit. I wouldn't be happy if I gave a game I loved a low score or a game I hated a high score. This is my channel and I shouldn't have to try and justify the scores I give through some complicated point system. Point systems are math, and math is objective. Reviews should never be objective. So from now on, the categories will not have bonuses or deductions assigned to them. Instead, I'll just go over the categories in no particular order, then give the score that I feel is suitable at the end. That is, after all, exactly what I do in my shorter reviews anyway. If you thought there was any behind-the-scenes math for those ones, you were mistaken, and I apologize if I led you to believe that. But I'm still not comfortable handing out scores on a completely arbitrary basis. I recently got the idea to assign meanings to all my scores from 0 to 10. I think this will better illustrate my overall feelings for a game, rather than trying to confuse everyone, including myself, with nonsensical point systems. That being said, I'm comfortable with some of the scores I've handed out in my review so far, but there are some I want to adjust, which will be displayed as I go over the scores and their meanings. 0 out of 10 is reserved for games that are literally garbage. Unplayable, ugly, nonsensical games that might be some kid's first attempt at development that he uploaded for some reason, or a shady company's latest cash grab. These are the kind of games that deserve to be forgotten. But due to my own personal rules, I cannot review a game if I don't at least try to beat it. So I'll be playing those anyway. 1 out of 10 is for games that still have just a glimmer of hope, but are not worth my time. They don't deserve to be forgotten, but they do deserve to exist and be enjoyed by the few people that do. 2 out of 10 is for games that are not my cup of tea personally, but I'll still read about or watch someone else play it. It's for okay games that I have no desire to ever play outside of necessity, such as for the review. 3 out of 10 is for games that are just barely good enough that they at least warrant trying out for a few hours. There is some fun factor to be had from them, just not much. 4 out of 10 is for games where the bad only slightly outweighs the good. They're fun to play, but they frequently aggravate me. 5 out of 10 is for perfectly average games. I do not feel strongly about them one way or the other, either because they're boring or because I feel the good is on par with the bad. 6 out of 10 is for games where there is clearly more good than bad, but I'm still not super impressed. It's good enough for me to want to beat it once, but probably not any more than that. 7 out of 10 is where the really good games start. These are games that I either want to beat 100% or play them multiple times. 8 out of 10 games are so good that I not only want to beat them multiple times, but also 100% them at least once. 9 out of 10 games are my all-time favorites. Games that are so magnificent that I want to beat them 100% multiple times. These games change my life and influence my creativity. As far as my scoring system is concerned, these are the cream of the crop, because one question I often ask myself is, if I was magically forced to play only one game for the rest of eternity, what would I pick? Most people immediately jump to Minecraft as their answer simply due to its infinite replayability, but I don't really like Minecraft all that much. And as much as I love my current all-time favorites, I would never want to pick just one and play only that for a million years. If I ever do find a game that I would want to play forever, one that I genuinely consider to be the best game ever made, that one will be the sole recipient of the 10 out of 10 score. So that's my new scoring system. Hopefully no one thinks I'm being wishy-washy by changing everything, but I did not make these changes lightly, nor do I intend to make them often. Besides, with this new scoring system, I can give scores to games without having to write up reviews for them. Games that I've played before and have formed a long-lasting opinion of. It'll definitely make my job easier in the long run. Now if you'll excuse me, I have some scripts to rewrite and re-record. So until next time, I'll be here, in the darkness, quietly awaiting your... Also, please tell me if this outro is annoying or boring. I kinda made it on a whim too, and I'm perfectly fine with changing it. Anyway, bye!